So
universe.
by that definition, is Bitcoin money? I wanted to linger on the money doesn't matter point again. You mentioned that neoclassical economists will teach you that money doesn't matter, and you mentioned in the book that it happens pretty early on in an economics degree.
Yeah.
And I spent 4 years studying accounting and did
Oh,
not
right.
learn like the question of what is money actually, and not just the credit and debit side of things where you're doing all these sort of transactions. Like from a fundamental standpoint, what is money? Your answer in the book that money is the promise of a third party, that was the first time I'd ever heard someone explain it like that. And I've gone to school for 4+ years, and then grad school for one more year while I was playing baseball. And I just wanted
Yeah.
to linger on that point for a second, like this concept that money doesn't matter, and your definition of money being the promise of a third party. Like how can these rationales exist without acknowledging the thing that everyone does, without acknowledging the promise of the third party people, and if you could even explain in more depth what that promise of a third party means, just so people who understand listening to this who've not heard that phrase before.
Well, the basic thing is that if you what money is in a bank, it's if you deposit money, if you take cash and put cash into the bank, the cash actually goes into the vaults of the bank, and you then get a deposit account, and the deposit account says, if you want to take this money down, we will give you the cash back. And then people accept that banks are legitimate recorders of monetary worth. So if you transfer money from your bank account to my bank account, I'll send you whatever I'll send you a copy of Debunking Economics in response. So we're transferring the promise to pay, which is the amount of money in your bank account. You've transferred a part of it to my bank account. I therefore give you the book. That is the essence of how exchange occurs in a capitalist economy. Now, neoclassical say that's just making it's a veil over barter. So you and I bartered for the book. Fundamentally, you can ignore the monetary system. That'd be feasible to be true if the money itself made no difference to total demand. But what I show in the book as well is that credit is part of aggregate demand. Okay, and because it's part of aggregate demand, because it can go positive, massively positive, and also massively negative, it's the most volatile part of demand. It's what will drive the economy. So that's why it matters so much to understand the monetary system. If credit didn't actually affect aggregate demand, if government spending didn't affect aggregate demand, you wouldn't need to understand either. You'd still understand capitalism. But if you don't understand both of those, you have an elaborate model that looks like it fits the data and is completely wrong, just like Ptolemaic astronomers were wrong about the structure of the universe.
So by that definition, is Bitcoin money?
No, Bitcoin is not money. Okay, Bitcoin can be used for transactions. And that's what makes people think it's money. Some people trust it, others don't. But the basic definition of money is the promise of a third party that other parties are willing to accept as a complete extinguishment of the debts between two individuals. Okay, so a credit note is not money in that sense. A bank deposit is money because we'll all accept it. Now, of course, of Bitcoin, nobody accepts it. And what Bitcoin does as well is it accentuates the store of value side of money. But the more you push up the store of value, the less you're going to use it for transactions. And what we can see, most people, that's where HODL came from, hold on for dear life, because you think it's always going to increase in value. You don't want to get the go of it, so you're not going to use it for transactions. And that defeats the whole purpose of a monetary entity. You want it to be used for transactions.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how Bitcoin and cryptocurrency fits into your new economics theory. Like, is this something that could be long term and become an alternative source of money in the future? Will this never be something that people primarily use, and will always be on the traditional system of credit and borrowing?
Look, I think given the fact that one of the fundamental parts of Bitcoin is wasting large amounts of energy, okay, to determine its scarcity, and given we're going into, it's going to get banned at some point. Okay, because the easiest way to reduce energy consumption on the planet right now is to ban Bitcoin.
Really,
You get rid of
the
Switzerland.
easiest way right now?
Yeah. And if you think about what's using large amounts of energy and producing bugger all, the answer is Bitcoin.